What's up, everybody? It's the Mad Hatter back at it again, logging in, reporting live from La Ciudad del Mal, and I'm gonna talk about some more Olympic shit. But first, to anybody hating on my last video about Lily King without actually watching the whole video and listening to all of my points, fuck you. Yeah. So, the first thing I want to talk about is I'm not usually the type of person who's really even into sports. I mean, I grew up like that, but I'm trying to distance myself from sports. It's just starting to annoy me, and it's just really people who are, being used as pawns for the most part. I mean, these people still work hard. I mean, they're real. It's not like they're fairy tale people, but it's like watching endless war, right? Like watching sports. It's like everybody's got a new enemy the next year. One year the Steelers are the enemy, the next year the Cowboys are the enemy, the Patriots, the Miami Heat, the Cavaliers. Like it's a new enemy every year, but it's the same game, man. It's the same people profiting. So that's how I view sports, right? But amidst all that craziness, the Olympics are an amazing bunch of games to watch. The Olympics is an amazing bunch of games to watch. Um, And it's crazy to see people's backgrounds and people from all over the world and people getting together, laughing and crying, competing. It's cool, man. It is cool, like, regardless of how you feel about sports. And this year, there's been some amazing storylines. I mean, you got Michael Phelps, you got Simone Biles, and you also got this woman tonight who won. Well, I don't know if it's tonight or not, but, with my time period, time zone being all jacked up, and the whole delay situation. But you know, uh, it's been crazy. Simone Biles, Manuel, I think, or Manuel. She's a black swimmer. But so I want to talk about how amazing some of these stories are. Like Simone Biles, for instance. She unfortunately had a pretty common black experience in America. As Time Magazine reported, an experience that's actually becoming more um, common for all Americans, but especially blacks and Latinos. So she came from, a single drug addicted mother. She bounced around. I believe she was in at least one foster home. She was raised by her grandparents, and that's tough, man. Man, your grandparents need to be taken care of the older they get, but here they are having to take care of you. Nothing against Simone, not her fault, but this is just how difficult this is. And it kind of reminds me too, even with her, I was looking at her leotard or whatever they wear. They always have like really cool leotards. But she kind of reminds me of like Spider Woman or some shit, man. Like if you look at Peter Parker, he had a similar situation. I mean, his parents died in a plane crash. Her parents didn't die like that, but essentially they weren't around. So here she is having to rise to the occasion. She just had this natural skill, this talent, and she really can flip around like Spider-Man. I mean, she's basically like Spider-Woman, dog. It's crazy. But I say that to say this, like the situation that she came from, if she got lucky to a certain extent to make it out, because she could have been a statistic. And a lot of people, I think, the people who are cheering for her now, they would have been gleefully cheering at her demise had she not been so lucky. You see people. I see people all the time like that are victims of police brutality, especially black people, or people who are victims who might even be victims of the system, or maybe even you made a bad decision and you went to jail or prison, and people think that now you deserve to not be treated as a human being, like Chelsea Manning. You know what she's going through right now. I'm actually going to make a video another time to get back into that. That's a whole different situation, but there's this idea that if people either fall on hard times or they know somebody who's done something bad or semi bad, it's like we make it all their fault, and they have no room to grow from that. Um, so I think that we should look at this and realize that, look, she could have turned the other way, but she didn't. She actually became a phoenix and rose from the ashes, and we should praise her for that to a certain extent. But we should also recognize that a lot of people don't have the same opportunities that she did, and we should be careful about how quickly we are to judge people who are put in very bad situations. So, on to Simone Manuel. Manuel, however you say it. I'm going to go with Manuel because it sounds easier. So, she won the individual swimming event. She's the first black female to do this. Now, historical context, you know, black people, the stereotype is that, hey, black people can't swim. It's not that black people can't swim, it's that black people don't swim. And a lot of it is because of segregation in the 1920s and 30s when pools were very popular in America. Black people were segregated from getting to those pools. And then when we did become integrated, we usually had substandard housing that was still sort of segregated, and pools cost money, so it's an expense. It's an expensive addition to living to a living situation. So a lot of black communities did not have pools. So there's a lot of historical context to this, and the fact that she was able to get through that is just crazy. That all these years later, almost 100 years later, black people have finally won a swimming event, especially a black woman. And she actually comes out, and talks about the issues that are going on right now, and she's quoted saying this, quote, "This win will hopefully bring hope and change to some of the issues going on," end quote. Now she's talking about specifically police brutality and all the stuff that you see. Now you can ask yourself, like, well, how is she really going to make a difference by winning this race? And I think that one way she can change things is by changing. I think one way she is changing things is by changing the way people see black people, brown people, women, LGBT people, but in this instance, black women. And a lot of people see black people as not even being human to some extent. And I think the fact that she's able to win in this sport that's dominated by white people and dominated by many Americans, the fact that she can win this race shows it brings some level of humanity. It sucks that it has to go that length, but I think it does that. So this is running long. I'm going to leave that there. Let me know what y'all think. Catch you next time.